Hi everyone, I'm Summer Joy, a child of hoarders and CPTSD survivor. So today I just wanted to answer this question about growing up in a hoarder home and then struggling with cleanliness into our adulthood. The first main thing is to give yourself grace and to take the shame and guilt that we experience and to give it to the person who it's actually meant for. So in my situation, I know that I struggle with cleanliness and routines. However, it's important for me to take the perspective of knowing that that lies on my parents for never teaching me how to keep up with cleanliness, and for also just giving me the tools and things I needed to be able to keep a cleanly space when I lived at home. And then just going forward, I have no tools. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The next thing I would say, something that helps me, because I do struggle with hoarding tendencies, in my case a lot relating to food and clothing. My tip to help get rid of things, since I struggle with that, is something I heard online somewhere, and that is if it takes under $20 or less than 20 minutes to replace, get rid of it. So for me, it's knowing and having that perspective shift of I can easily replace this. It's not like growing up where if I got rid of something, it would be very difficult for me to get another one. Another thing I would say is to build a routine and to do it slowly. A trick that I like to do to help me kind of learn cleanliness routines, since they were never taught or modeled for me, is I like to go on Pinterest and look up like chore boards or like task lists like that. So for the living room, I'll look up like chore lists, for the bathroom, kitchen, etc. And I've slowly implemented those into like building cleanliness routines, as well as watching like TikToks and YouTube videos of people cleaning. And in that way, I've even just gotten like tips and tricks that I just didn't know that would make cleaning easier, and things like that. And then with that, I say like slowly build the routine, because for me, a lot of the time with ADHD as well, because I struggle with that, is that it's so much at once, especially when you come from a background of not knowing how to do really anything at all in terms of cleanliness and like personal like cleanliness routines. So it's just giving yourself grace to slowly like build on one task. So like I struggle with everything in general, but I'm now like working on, okay, like I now am making sure all of my counters are cleaned off every night before I go to sleep. And that's like something I'm really consistently like honing in on. And then next I'll work on something else. Okay, now I've kind of built that. Now I'm going to move on to trying to vacuum once a day or every other day, whatever the thing is, and just slowly add those things to your routine. So another thing that has helped me is I used to be a server, and I used to be like in charge of like side work for pre-shift and post-shift. And I really liked like that like setup, I guess. And I really thrived on being able to like, make sure everything got done before a shift and after a shift. And so I've kind of implemented that into like my home cleanliness routine. So I'm slowly building like an opening routine and a closing routine shift, but for taking care of my own home. So like in the mornings, for example, I unload the dishwasher, I'll take out the trash with me on the way out to work in the morning, things like that. And then like at nighttime, I'll load the dishwasher so then I have it to unload in the morning. I'll vacuum at night to make sure the floors are picked up, things along those lines, and just slowly like building that routine over time. But yeah, if anyone has any other questions, or needs advice on anything, no matter if it's something small, something like really niche and specific, please feel free to ask. This is a safe space, and I'm here to help you guys as much as I can. Hope you guys have a great day.